Says the Rabbi Avram, so now we have the things that are very close to the things that are absolutely necessary, very close to simple bread and water and a piece of clothing and a roof over one's head. However, then you have, the closer you're going to extra comforts, like having servants and things like that, you're getting closer to something that's called miyutta, to something that's called extras. The less you go from these things, the less service you're trying to get from others and so forth, you're getting closer to the distinction that he calls nachos, to what he calls an absolute necessity. Obviously, says the Rabbein Avram, you can't really make a very simple distinction that this thing is absolutely necessary and this thing is absolutely not necessary, because this changes by the person and by the condition. Meaning, for example, one can say having a servant is absolutely not necessary. However, one can say, wait a second, for a king it is absolutely necessary. So you can see right away that there are certain things that will move from necessary to not necessary to absolutely not necessary, and vice versa. Says the Rabbein Avram, Ki Melech Yisrael Moshe, for example, a king, Zokuk Ledvarm Sheshum Nazim is Beidin Zokuk, will absolutely need things that other people don't need at all. So for example, the things that David HaMelech needed for his armies are close to absolute necessity for him, whereas for any other person in Klal Yisrael it would be considered a complete extra, a complete moisrus. Says the Rebbe Avram, he brings kamarais from a few psukim by the Isha Shinamis, that she said, I only need the only absolute necessities. I don't need extra things. I'm not a person who goes talking to kings or to generals and to ministers. I don't need extras. And we see that she didn't even ride on a horse, only if she was absolutely exhausted. But at the same time, says the Rabbein Avram, not every person in old conditions can survive on bread and water. Sometimes a person needs, in order to be healthy, in order to be able to have koach to do avodas Hashem, a person will need to put some extras on his bread, put some butter, put some meat. A person might need something more. Maybe he will need, in order to feel comfortable, not to feel like a schlepper, he'll need to have more Beinani clothing. He won't be able to go around in rags or to live in a house that's run down. And that person might need it almost as much as the person who just needs bread and water. It's just sometimes people are built differently. People are just like a person will understand that people who lived 1,000 years ago in the deserts, like the Bedouins, and lived in tents and then and then walked in the sand and were wearing rags, and that's all they needed. A person can understand that today a person needs socks and shoes and pants and a suit. So there's obviously these things, the necessity can move and can change by the person, by the time, by the state of mind that a person is in. And all these things change the absolute necessity category by each person. However, says the Rabbein Avram, V'hu yis'ala yoidei atzarachav shel kol adam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what's an absolute necessity. So therefore, when a person believes and trusts and has bitachon HaKadosh Baruch Hu to provide him what's absolutely necessary, it's a part of that bitachon is knowing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what's absolutely necessary. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows that when the person is asking for something, if he's really asking for something that's necessary or not. And therefore, that's why Rabbi Hussein Zal put into the tefillah that people should ask. The Lashon in the Gemara is so we see that Chazal foresaw this, that the absolute necessary things of people are going to change by generations, change by age, change by position, and so forth and so forth. However, a person has to remember that what we're looking for, Baal Bitachon is looking for, is only the absolute necessity, whatever that might be. Have a wonderful day.